Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for plugging in. Tonight we're going to be installing a PNW dropper post that's internally routed finally on the Santa Cruz 5010. We'll also be using the Loam Lever. If you guys like the video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. And if you have any questions along the way, make sure you leave those in the comments and I'll be glad to help wherever I can. So let's get to it. First, start by loosening your seat collar bolts and removing your saddle. Next, remove your existing seat post and cable, if applicable. For install of the Loam Lever, open the clamp, slide it over your handlebar, and drop the through bolt into place to hold it still. You'll notice the Loam Lever has two bolt positions for attaching the clamp. Choose whichever gives you the desired placement for your setup. Now for the fun part. Internally routing your dropper cable. As each frame has a different design, I recommend following your frame's manufacturer's instructions for internally routing your cable. Once the lever is mounted to the handlebar, we'll need to measure the cable length. I found it easier to measure the housing length without the inner cable installed. Push the dropper post into the seat tube to your desired saddle height while pulling the cable housing out the front of the frame at the same pace. Be careful as to not pull the cable too quickly, as it can lose connection with the bottom of the dropper, making your measurements inaccurate. Holding the cable housing to the lever's barrel adjuster, make sure you have enough cable housing to turn your handlebars completely by 90 degrees. This ensures the cables are not too tight in case of an accident or so long that they are flopping around on your ride. Cut the cable housing at the same spot you held against the barrel adjuster. As they say, measure twice and cut once. Next, you'll be removing the dropper from the frame while pushing the cable housing back through the bike. Insert the inner cable into the housing, starting at the dropper post end of the housing. Place the cable end into the bottom of the dropper post. You'll see a slot where you can slide the inner cable while pivoting so the cable end sits in the actuator cradle. Next, insert the dropper back into the frame while pulling on the housing from the front like you did before. Feed the cable through the housing end cap at the front of the bike. Feed the cable through the lever's barrel adjuster and seat the housing end cap into place. For the Loam Lever, place the cable on the back side of the lever and into the machine groove. Loosen the cable bolt and place the cable into the machine groove. While holding the cable taut and the lever fully extended, tighten the cable bolt to secure the cable. Trim the cable behind the Loam Lever and use the barrel adjuster to remove slack in the cable. Afterwards, place the cable crimp over the trimmed end of the cable and crimp it with pliers. Then place the cable behind the tab on the back of the Loam Lever body. Next, you're going to reinstall the saddle into the saddle rails and tighten to the desired position. This can be tedious, but I found it easier when rotating the bottom saddle rail into position. Adjust your saddle so it's centered with the bike frame. And lastly, tighten the saddle clamp bolts to between 8 and 10 Newton meters. Set your dropper to the desired height and tighten the seat collar bolt until it holds the dropper in place. It's important to follow your frame manufacturer's recommended torque settings for the seat collar, as this varies between brands. With that said, thanks for watching guys, and be sure to check out the other videos we have on the channel.